you don't mind if I join you. You look so all alone there, in your party of one. Might I inquire how your evening is going? I hope you're more than satisfied with our products and services. Very well. I see you're enjoying one of our more stimulating choices. Do you mind if I make a recommendation? Live blood does satisfy some of our deeper cravings. Due to the lower yield, it always comes at a premium. That and the added labor of obtaining a good batch. I'm sure you notice that our bottled product is very competitively priced. Just like it hasn't escaped me that you happen to hold a fair amount of it in your possession. This was meant to sound in no way threatening, and I apologize for my less than deliberate wording. It's just not every day that a new face joins us and simultaneously clears almost 1/5 of our stock straight out of my colleague's hands. Not suspicious at all. Just curious. May I inquire the name of this mysterious guest? Pleased to meet you. I'm Allie. I normally manage the front of the house, which is our cafe. But we closed it down for this special event. And how special it feels. Much more refined than last year's banquet. More selections, more guests. atmosphere. It's peaceful. No one's at each other's throats. I haven't even had to reprimand anybody yet. Definitely an improvement. Quite understandably, it can be difficult for some of us to control. Our urges, especially so for those of us who have just turned. Surrounded by the smells of so many different kinds of blood. It can be overwhelming on the sensitive and subsequently trigger some of our most fundamental instincts. Things don't always turn out so peachy. That's why I exclusively employ daywalkers for these events. I shall spare you the gruesome details, though. Forgive my insolence, but you strike me as someone who may secretly delight in them. But I must insist that we adhere to the rules my colleague has clarified. At least in such lively company. I have been watching you. I think we're not too dissimilar, you and I. Your eclectic taste is what stood out to me. What gives? If I had a guess, I would have said exactly that. Me? I think I long for the things I couldn't do in life. I just have this deep hunger for life unlived. All the things I couldn't see, all the things I couldn't be. Truly, you don't appreciate life till it slips through your fingers. Even though I've never felt so alive. about you? What was your life like? We aren't too dissimilar after all. Do you long for it at all? Some of us think there's a reason why we were afforded a second chance. Not in the sense of a divine intervention, though. Some find solace in faith, and may whatever God they pray to help them come to terms with all they've become. But I've been wondering how it is that the majority of people never rise. Just decay like a lump of flesh that's been stripped of life and has no choice but to default to turning into dirt. How is it that we're moving, living, breathing? Some of us. How is it that we think and feel and fight to survive like we always have, with nothing but some changes to our physiology? It is undeniable that there has been a transformation. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't desperate to understand the nature of it. How is it that some of us can walk during the day while others are tragically vulnerable to the sun's rays? Do you ever wonder? Some speculate that it may be the desire to live that makes us hold on. Unfinished business. That maybe life finds those of us it still owes. Though I despise the determinist notion this phrasing implies. See, I'm more inclined towards a psychological reasoning that on some undiscovered level of our consciousness, we have rejected death. Those of us who still remember what it's like to dream will tell you that this experience is not too dissimilar from just the trance-like state. Perhaps you have experience with alternate states, your taste in blood hints at it a little bit. See, I used to be an artist, among other things, and I was always so intrigued by what I would refer to as the creative brain, or the dreaming brain, as I have yet to find a clear distinction between the two. Anyways, I would lie in bed at night, just letting my thoughts run wild on how to bring about one of those creative ideas in my head. I would let them run their course until they would crystallize into something I could take action on. Because it was night, and it was quiet, and it was comfortable, I would feel my mind start to drift to sleep, but not all of it. Just the part of it that dominated my waking life. A logical, rational, alert part of my brain. I would feel it fall asleep, and most nights I would drift to sleep with it. As goes the natural course of events for most humans, but not when I was consumed by an idea. I would lay there and hold on to the thoughts, and after I felt my rational mind put itself to rest, there I was, awake, though asleep, living, breathing, thinking, feeling, though the feeling aspect was a bit dulled or numbed or altered in itself, in the absence of rationality, judging every idea and emotion. Though that's not to say my judgment was impaired in any way. No. I was fully lucid and reasonable and decisive. But I was thinking and feeling and making decisions with a different kind of brain. My dreaming brain. A part of it that took over at night while my dominant brain was asleep. And I would lay there so free and calm and unburdened by my own self-imposed limitations. Some nights I would just dwell in this altered state for hours, just for how emotionally healing it felt. And some nights I would drag my tired body out of bed against all impulses that told me to rest, and I would create beautiful things better than I could when I was awake, because I wasn't standing in my own way. And it made me wonder how it was that I could could be asleep, yet awake. What consciousness really is, where it comes from. Because I had established that it wasn't a rational mind we'll predominantly relied on. Whoever can answer this will have solved one of reality's greatest mysteries, I'm sure. And one of ours. Why we're here. What we are. All we know is that we died. And yet, here we are. Asleep and awake. We don't dream anymore, but somehow life itself feels like a dream now. It reminds me so much of one of those nights, free from self-imposed limitations, living out things I could have never dreamed. Knowing that this kind of life exists. I feel sorry for all the people still stuck in an ordinary human existence, ruled by social norms and imprisoned by their own minds they've allowed to become polluted by petty ideals and even pettier fears. Fears that only make sense if you think you don't stand a chance in conflict. Someone once told me that all fear is the fear of death. And though I wouldn't oversimplify emotions quite to that extent, I do believe many human fears boil down to survival in the group. Without the mental and physical advantages we enjoy today, humans don't need the approval of their kind. Don't get me started on their pitiful survival skills. You're right. I must sound like I was never one of them. But don't you feel that life after death is so much more exhilarating? The rush of the hunt, the intensity of sounds and smells and all imaginable sensations permeating you to the core. Everything is simple, natural. You take what you need and you live to see another day. You get all of the perks of human life and none of the drawbacks. 'Til tell me that the feeling of being connected to everything doesn't bring you so much more peace than you ever thought you could feel. Naturally, we face our own unique challenges. But that's why we have events like these, to make the most out of our gratuitous existence. So let us take care of you. How would you like another glass? This time, things usually start to mellow out. Once everyone has had their fill, you can feel the atmosphere of the room slowly morphing from lively and dynamic to smooth and amicable. Feel free to just take in the peace and quiet. The meditative trance batch seems to be going over well. We're hoping to expand our selection even more next year's banquet, as well as arrange for entertainment. There's this beautiful singer at one of our partner businesses, Lucy. Exceptional voice, haunting and mellow and sweet. But it's near impossible to steal her out of Noah's hands. As a night walker, she's highly guarded at all times. How that must sound. Of course, we're not looking to literally steal her. She will be well compensated and receive top-notch care, as is appropriate for such a gem. You would love her, and it would be my pleasure to introduce you. Wow, I can't make any promises regarding Lucy, as she's a big name in the nightlife, but I would love to see her again at one of our other events. Yes, the blood banquet is an annual delight which we take great pride in. But we also host regular, smaller parties with a more intimate guest list. meaning it'd have to be approved by us to be able to join. Now, I will give you my approval, but it'll still help to get acquainted with us. But why don't we start with getting you acquainted with what we can do for you? The service we provide isn't limited to banquets, parties, and special events. And given your interest in a wide variety of our product, I thought you'd be happy to hear we take orders. For the right price, you can feast like royalty while we do the work for you. Our service includes finding, capturing, draining, and bottling the best product for you. Whatever you desire, we can bring it to you. Give us a name, a list of preferences, or let us surprise you with a flavor we're sure you will enjoy. For a small fee, you may reserve the right to sink your teeth in that warm flesh and fill up to your heart's content. If that's something that interests you, I can tell you a bit more about that. Very well. Right off the bat, you can expect the utmost dedication to your satisfaction. Based on your preferences, such as blood type, age, gender, down to specifics like ethnic background, personality, and lifestyle. We will find a few viable options that we think will suit your tastes. We would then arrange for their complete, detailed profile to be delivered to your residence. We could carefully consider your options from the comfort of your own four walls. Once you've made your decision, you would call the house, which you will be receiving a business card when you collect your product later. And all further instructions for ordering, including prices, payment methods, and code names, will be on their respective profiles. For safety reasons, we handle all our sales in code. Each individual will be listed as a specific dish, so you would call in with your full name and the stated dish, whether you like it hot or cold, and whether you would prefer delivery, pick up, or dine in. Hot or cold refers to live versus bottled product, and delivery, pick-up, and dine-in are your service options. This must be a lot to take in all at once. Let me try and see if I can paint a clear picture for you. Say you wish to purchase a dish called a bourbon apricot pie. If you choose to enjoy it cold, all three options will be fast and discreet. We will either deliver the freshly drained and bottled product to your house via one of our in-house delivery personnel. If you choose pickup, we will have the product ready for you in a discreet bag, in which case you would come in and retrieve it at the pickup window in the back of the house where our cafe kitchen is located. There you would confirm your name and order and leave with a substantial quantity of your favorite drop. If you choose dine-in, you would be guided to this lounge. Rest assured, it is heavily guarded at all times. You would simply confirm your identity at the door, right out in the same hallway you entered through. Unlike tonight's open event, we would then show you to your reserved seat and give you or your party the option to enjoy a classy, private evening with table service, or be accompanied by one of us and receive continuous bottle service. We pride ourselves on our hospitality, but also respect the desire for solitude. Whatever your preference is, we take the utmost care to give you the best dining experience. That being said, if you should happen to opt for a hot order, some requirements will have to be met. For delivery, you would have to be able to provide a closed, private parking, the most discreet and efficient way to deliver hot cargo is concealed in the trunk of a car. On the odd occasion, you may be able to frame the transaction as a furniture or appliance delivery, but no more than 3 times a year. We prefer to keep suspicion to a minimum. In that case, we would schedule a house visit to confirm accommodations. This would only happen once per residence. Once we have your entry in our books, I promise you we'll bother you as little as possible. Should you opt for pickup, it will be much the same kind of procedure, except that you would come to us. Our valet would park your vehicle in our underground garage, and after confirming your identity and order with security, you would be guided to a pickup room to inspect your cargo. Once you confirm that everything is to your satisfaction, which I'm positive it will be, we will load it into your vehicle and conceal it the same way we would for a delivery route. From then, your cargo is your responsibility. Though we recommend that you stick around for a minimum of 90 minutes before taking your purchase home or wherever you choose to enjoy it. We are an exclusive lounge after all, and all activity in and around this building should reflect that. You will be receiving complimentary table service while you wait, of course, with a select daily special on the house. The cargo will remain hypnotized up until being loaded in. After that, the hypnosis enacted by our personnel will wear off within 6 hours. If you wish to enjoy it later than that time frame, they would have to be sedated prior to leaving with you. Though, if you should choose dining, that would negate all of these precautions, as you would be guided into our temperature-regulated wine cellar. It really is as pleasant as it sounds, and comes with all the amenities. Dining table, chaise lounge, and your favorite dining playlist would be prepared for you in our fully soundproof and guarded cellar. You would simply let the guard know when you're ready to head out, or give us a time in advance, and we will remind you. That way, you can enjoy your feast undisturbed and without worry. I told you it would be a sublime experience. If you should consider our services, I'm sure you'll find they are well worth it. Do you have any questions? How long would an order take? I assume you mean from the time of your call to your arrival. Wow. All prospective subjects remain under observation until we receive your order. So our staff will get to work right away on discreetly disappearing them, depending on their schedule and home life. The time may range from a few hours to a few days. High-profile individuals may take longer than that, but our professionalism usually translates to extremely fast delivery times. So you can expect your product no later than 3 days after your full payment. We will of course call to confirm the status of the order, as well as give you an estimation with your order. Every part of this process is designed to be as stress-free and convenient for you as possible. And all our staff are sworn to absolute secrecy. So rest assured that your involvement with us will extend no further than direct transactions. We take the privacy of our clients extremely seriously. So it goes without saying, but what happens at the Midnight Cafe stays at the Midnight Cafe. I trust that you will pay the other guests the same level of respect that we pay you. That way, we will maintain a flourishing relationship for all eternity. How long I must have rambled on. Please, feel free to taste and mingle as much as you like. And if you decide you are interested in our blood sourcing services, we can see about putting you in our books. I shall talk to the other guests now, but I hope you will have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'm confident we shall speak again.